Hey, all right, let's talk about this Christian Pulisic thing again. As you know, I said in one of my previous videos that I thought it was fine that he's taking the summer off, and we know that some of these older U.S. soccer legends are saying that they think it's that he doesn't care and that he should have played. Um, Alexi Lalas, Landon, Donovan, they feel strongly that this is a bad look for U.S. soccer and that it's a missed opportunity to work with the team and to build rapport with the coaching staff. I disagree. And if you haven't seen the Unleashed podcast by Eric Bonalda, you should check it out because he was also in the same generation as Alexi Lalas, and he has a really interesting take. He basically told Landon Donovan and Alexi Lalas to shut up. Now, of course, I have super respect for Alexi Lalas and big time respect for Landon Donovan. Alexi Lalas, I think, was the first American to ever play in Europe. I don't know if he played for Parma or he played for some team in Italy. And I remember as a kid thinking, wow, this guy, he's playing in Europe. That's like unheard of. And Landon Donovan, I think before Christian Pulisic came around, he might have been the number one U.S. soccer player of all time. And he played in Europe. He had amazing moments for the U.S. national team in World Cups, Confederation Cups. And something that I personally like about his career is that he spent a lot of time in the MLS. He tried to grow the MLS. You know, they say all MLS fans are soccer fans, but not all American soccer fans are MLS fans. Right? So the fact that he gave some of his best years to the MLS, and in David Beckham's documentary, he even credits Landon with being the reason why he took it serious. Because if you guys don't know, David Beckham got signed to the LA Galaxy. He came here, saw we were playing in jank stadiums with no fans, and the quality was garbage. And he got out. He was like, I want to go back and play to Europe, and he did. And Landon Donovan was like, called him out. He was like, what's your deal? And so David came back, Beckham came back, and him and Landon Donovan won a couple championships in the MLS. And it saved the league. It made it relevant, you know? So Landon, of course, he will always be looked at in high regard as American, as U.S. soccer fans. But I personally think in this instance, he's getting it wrong. And something that I had to be reminded of, and I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that. For him to say that Christian Pulisic doesn't have the right to take a summer off from soccer is incredibly ironic because at the height of Landon Donovan's career, he took an entire year off. Like, he didn't go on vacation with his girlfriend. He just straight up didn't play soccer for a year because he said he had to find himself. I think that's fine. Mental health is important. If you're feeling like you need it, the break, take the break. But then you can't fast forward in life and become a pundit and say Christian Pulisic doesn't care about the U.S. national team because he's taking a summer off after an extremely busy year of European soccer at the highest level in Serie A playing for AC Milan. You are the only person that can't say it, like, with all due respect. So I think that I agree with Eric Winalda on the Unleashed podcast where he's like, guys, you played in a different time. You don't get it. And he deserves, and all the other guys that took the summer off, they have the right to take it off. The big, asterisk in this story, though, is that I think we just found out today is that we were given the impression that Pulisic said, I want the whole summer off. We find out now that he actually called Pochettino and said, I would like to play in the 2 friendlies against Switzerland and Turkey, but then I want the summer off. And Pochettino said, no, either you're coming for the whole summer or I don't want you at all. I don't know, like, the way I'm saying it, maybe that's not the tone that Pochettino said it, but it sure seems to me that there was some kind of a rift and some kind of a power play there, right? Christian saying, I'll come give you 2 games against this higher competition, Switzerland and Turkey, but I don't want to spend the summer, burnt out, risking injury against Haiti, Trinidad, Tobago, whoever these Concacaf teams are going to be. And I think that's reasonable. Like, bring him into the camp for 2 weeks, let him play with the boys, let him build up, rapport with the coaching staff, and then let him go on his break. He was already in form. He had a couple games left in him, he felt like. But to say if you don't want to come for the whole summer, don't come at all, I think that's a mistake. And I think we have this super high profile coach and probably the greatest U.S. soccer player of all time. And they're both saying, this is my conditions, and I'm not budging on it, right? There was no compromise. It was either come the whole summer or don't come at all. Look, we could argue that that's also kind of a little entitled, if you want to look at it like that, for Christian to be like, hey, I'm just going to come for these 2 games. But let's look at it with our realistic goggles. He's coming off of an extremely busy schedule in the Serie A, playing for AC Milan, where he arguably led the team, right, in a really great season. The guy wants to give you 2 more games, and then he wants to rest. He didn't say he's not coming. He said, I can come for 2 weeks, and then I got to rest, coach. And for Pochettino to understand the demand of the European game and to say, don't bother coming, just start your vacation now, he might not have said it like that, but let's be honest, that's kind of how it reads. I think it was a mistake. I think, if anything, for the U.S. national team to be successful, these are the 2 guys that have to get along and have to be on the same page, and right now it doesn't seem like they are. So we'll see how the U.S. does in the Gold Cup without them. We obviously saw how the U.S. did against Switzerland and Turkey. Did the fact that the players, they're probably on a WhatsApp group, did Christian say, hey guys, I wanted to be there, coach told me not to come? Did that affect the mentality of the players going into these 2 games? Is there a rift between the players and the coaching staff? I hope not. But let me know what you guys think, and we'll keep an eye on the situation. Hopefully it doesn't have an impact long term. As you guys know, when there's a year between one summer to the World Cup, you might end up with players playing on the national team that you've never heard of. And some players that you thought for sure were going to be on the national team, and they don't make it, whether they've fallen out of form or they get injured. So I don't think missing the Gold Cup is the end of the world for Christian Pulisic or Pochettino, but we'll have to keep an eye on it because only time will tell. There's less than a year away from the World Cup, and at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to matter about all this stuff we're talking about is if the U.S. does well. All right, talk to you guys later.